everyone? Welcome to the AB Panda League. This is our Season 6 semifinals. I'm Dissector, and I'm joined here tonight by Elusive. And tonight we have your number 1 seed, Land Turkey, versus the number 4 seed, No Skill, All Will. Tonight will also be a little bit of a different format, as it's the playoffs. We'll be having a best of 7, which I could not be more excited for. Land Turkey going into this has had a dominant season, going undefeated. They've only dropped one map the entire time, but you know what, Elusive? You know who took that map off them? It was No Skill All Will. So I'm expecting this to be a very competitive series. And how are you feeling about this matchup, Elusive?
I'm really excited about it too. I like that we're focusing in on a best of 7, more opportunities for these
Yes.
teams to play, and we're getting a little bit more familiar with these rosters as well. Not so many subs like we did see a lot of players rotating in and out the first couple weeks during Panda League, and I'm sure that really helps the teams itself, getting more familiarity, just getting more comfortable with one another. So I'm super excited, Dissector. I know you are as well.
All right, and it looks like this matchup will be getting started soon, but as you said, no subs tonight. These should be the full rosters. For Lantern, you have Bump and Scatter, and I'd say the MVP of the season, Ninja Dilly, and they're joined by Ritalin and Star Striker. And on the other side, with All Skill, you have Bryce, Satsira, Straight Blitz, and Final Boss. So, um, both teams very good, and you see a lot of sniping power on both teams. So I'm hoping we get to see some nice sniper battles tonight.
Yeah, and looking at some of the maps already and the map pool and hoping that this goes 7 games, we could be seeing a lot of maps that are directly influenced by that sniper rifle, especially by some of these players that we know we've talked about all season long, just being so proficient with the sniper rifle, and playing on mouse and keyboard for some of these players in particular really has helped.
Yeah, it has. Shout out to Satsir. We've seen that man on mouse and key. One of the best snipers in this league for sure. And Final Boss, he's on a controller, but man, that guy can snipe too. I remember when we casted him, I was throwing some shade. I was saying he might be the second best sniper, only to Satsira, but Final Boss looked like the better sniper that week. So we're gonna go into Strongholds on Lattice right here. And Monique, this is a new map. Just came out in the most recent update. How do you feel about Lattice and especially for Strongholds?
Stronghold is the one game type that I'm not the biggest fan of for this map. The only complaint I can really say with Lattice so far has been the spawns. There's been a lot of spawns that no matter how much you try to cover in the map and force enemies and opponents to spawn elsewhere, sometimes the spawn system has not been very favorable. But I do love the map thus far. What have you found is your favorite aspect or element that this map has to offer, Dissector?
I just love how mixed you can get with the height. I think there's a lot of different angles. There's ways to get creative. You can flank bottom mid. You can go ice to get across on people. Then, you obviously have the high part of the map, which is very useful. And we see Bryce starting off with that high ground in the window, just trying to apply pressure. His entire team is going towards the snipe side, which is interesting. Land Turkey's onto it, though. They see it. They get 2 kills. And Bryce is going to be one of the last 2 players on his team, just trying to stop this QT from being grabbed. He's going to be kept down. And this is a really good start for Land Turkey. They have A, and they have full control of the blue.
Yeah, the QT is an interesting aspect on this map as well, and we talked about the sniper rifle, of course. Having it so out in the open, and for something like King of the Hill, which obviously we're not playing, when one of the hills is exactly on that sniper rifle, you do see it pretty interesting how teams choose to play around it. So far, the start, what have you gathered from those squads?
Yeah, Land Turkey just playing very aggressive, but they're also controlling the high ground. They've done a good job of controlling the blue thus far, but they're going to flip the spawns right here. I'm not sure if this is what I'd want to do, but they're putting pressure on the spawners, which is really good. That being said, they go 3 down, Bump and Scatter. The last player wins a nice 1v1. Nice perfect shots, and Land Turkey going to remain with C control.
Yeah, so far looking at it, yeah, a little bit scrappy, which is what we've really seen thus far. But yeah, maintaining a lot of positioning towards that blue, I think is going to be really important for both these two teams, and being able to hold that, forcing opponents to spawn outside. And AV hold is really, really strong on this map so far, what we've seen.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a nice piff out of Star Striker. But like you were saying, that blue control, that height is so important. And that's how All Skill, All Will got back into this game. They took over blue and they have a good, steady control right now. They're in a pivotal matchup right here. Ritalin just trying to back up, but Bryce just living inside of blue. They're doing a great job controlling this blue side right now.
Yeah, really doing a good job butting up two of them on A, which is a difficult spot to try to break that cargo setup. Of course, you can push through the outside, but if you don't have control of blue going through that green crystal area, it's really difficult to break a setup on cargo if you're only pushing from one direction.
I didn't love no skill leaving B right there, as you know, Lanturkey ended up capturing it, but they're doing a good job rotating back to it. And Lanturkey, they're gonna have control of this hill, and they should be able to take blue right here. Ninja Daily in a big pull versus final boss. Bryce is spawning there though, and they could hold on to blue control. That was a crazy spawn right there.
Yeah, 3 down and looking really strong. I mean, I like the way Star Striker is playing this. Really not in the best spot positionally, but he's really taking advantage of the fact that he's out there doing a ton of damage, just of course assisting Ninja Dilly with that kill there. But the fact that he's able to stay on the crates as long as he was, lay damage, and of course hold the B setup has been really important for them to score points and to take the lead.
Yeah, he was very annoying. They forced out some grenades that bought his team time, but unfortunately to no avail. Is Straight Blitz just patrolling the middle of the map. He gets a call out, he knows there's someone bottom mid trying to take him down. He gets one kill, but he's gonna get taken down by Bump and Scatter, pushing that cargo side. And it looks like Lanturkey, they want to hold AC, but they're gonna get taken down. Satsura now, we've talked about this man a lot in the pregame. He can snipe, but he can also get naded. And Ninja Dilly takes him down. Ninja Dilly with the sniper, this is not what No Skill wants to see.
Yeah, first opponent, or first player I should say, across both teams to get to that double-digit kill range. That's been a theme we've seen out of Ninja Dilly. He has been ultra consistent, and it would be really interesting to see over all the games with the players we've seen, just the kill deaths overall, because I know he's really, really led the way.
Yeah, Ninja Dilly definitely a dog, and you know, like I said earlier, Lanturkey very dominant. They've only dropped to one map. That map being to this team, and that's why I think this is so close. These teams match up really well against each other, and I'd actually love to go ahead and get a listen in with No Skill All Will and see how they're planning on playing this map positioning.
Catch out, just look.
Nice, thanks, sorry.
One shot on B.
3 dead.
Down.
One on me, one shot.
Top
One
mid
shot,
weak,
give me
one
around.
shot. Drop down into A.
And
Nice,
Nice.
dead.
4 dead, 4 dead, 4 dead still, 4 dead still.
Make sure
One
it's all
up.
okay. We need
Two
more
up.
A. We're letting A open. They're gonna be
Three
playing
up.
already. Get ready for A. Get ready for A. Right here.
shot on you, Ryan. I have a shot on.
Yeah, I got him. Oh!
One more right here.
Nice. We killed G.
Okay.
Huge. Go back to B. Spawn us at B. I spawned out.
There's spawn in B.
Beat that. The one was dropping on.
Trying to force from C here. I'm still fighting from B. Absolute down here, bottom. On my ping. I'm gonna start taking it up shroud. Playing for A here.
Got one, there's another on
Yeah,
there.
Red court. With him on red court.
I'm here with you.
Absolute, he's absolute. He's absolute. Just jump up and finish that. He's gonna help soon. Though.
He went low, all the way, he went low. He's going to
Yeah,
A.
look at ice.
Climbing up on
Price.
A.
Turn around. Yep, to your left. Price to your left.
I got him, I got him.
Jumping clear. That cargo. Nice, huge.
On C.
Alright, come back in B. That'll be quick.
I'm weak, just pushing on C. Top mid.
Right top mid. Just keep one of these down. Weak back here. Red stairs. Red stairs.
Here's one shot.
Rest of 1A. One at cargo. Cargo box is here. 2 dead.
I'm gonna lose this. Oh, no, he ran ammo. He's absolute. He's
Nice
absolute.
try. Cargo dead. Yeah.
He's still absolute. One shot B.
That's for me. Play for B.
Got him.
You don't have help yet. You
Two
don't
on A.
have
2 on A. 2 on A. 2 on A.
Got two of B.
They both went to the middle.
Oh, he's
I'm
on
gonna
me.
try and help you, Try and fight for the same points, guys. I'm gonna help you.
I don't think so.
So we are back from the listen-in, and we were talking a little bit off-stream, just what we've gathered and what we've learned from the listen-in. I was asking you, Dissector in particular, what have you taken away from No Skill All Will in that listen-in?
No Skill just very in control of their comms. You know, nobody's speaking too much. It's just in the locations and the small talking what their plan is. Saying, hey, they're A, we need to stop A. They rotate A and they stop them. They've built up it hugely doing that. and that communication is just really good to see out of them. It's gotten a lot better throughout this season, and they're still in control with 2 points right here, and the score is 201 to 85. No Skill doing a great job of Riddle and trying to turn the tide here. He's got the sniper rifle. They get a nice kill, and this is Land Turkey's chance to come back.
Yeah, they've been pushing towards the A strongholds, but of course we did see No Skill All Will able to defend that. Finally, now we see Land Turkey able to capture that A stronghold, and I wonder how long they're going to be able to hold it, as that is where predominantly we've seen all the fighting this map towards that cargo area. So right now, looks like it may be taken over successfully once again by No Skill All Will.
Ninja the best player, he's going to get taken down right here, and it's going to be really important for Land Turkey to live right here. They need to live off their spawn, make a play call, and not stagger. Final boss knows that staggering them could be huge, and he gets another 3 dead, and that's a great play out of No Skill All Will. They're trying to keep the pressure on these spawners.
Yeah, they're doing a really, really good job teamwork-wise. You can see that really reflected through the assists with a lot of players. Satsira and Bryce, both them close to double digits, likewise with Final Boss. They're trading out those kills when it really matters, and they're staying aggressive as we see our first triple cap in quite some time, and that is particularly strong with them looking to close things out.
Yeah, triple cap, and you know when you're shooting people in the back, you know they're getting confused. That means you're doing a great job putting pressure on the other team. Final boss, I like how much space he's taking this entire game. He's going to be in a pivotal 1v1 against Ninja Dilly. He comes out on top, and Final boss showing why we use the Gambit. Great controller, and he's doing a great job as they maintain map control. 5 seconds to go. It's up to Land Turkey. They have to make a desperate push, and I don't think they're going to get there. That's going to be your first map going to No Skill All Will, and they want to take that undefeated streak away from Land Turkey.
Yeah, and I love that last play at the end out of Final Boss there to allow the enemy to capture that B stronghold, not push straight into it, get taken down early, and win a pivotal piv against Ninja Dilly that was able for them to re-secure that B stronghold and capture that map point in game 1. No panic whatsoever, even when they weren't scoring, and I love the way that they played. I would say the word to describe it would just be effective teamwork. They were really, really on the same page.
Yeah, I'd say it was really methodical. You know, it's really easy when you're applying pressure to spawners to do it too much and not control the spawns and just lose map control, but they did a great job getting that map control first and then killing the spawners and playing fast enough to also catch up when the spawns are flipped. So great teamwork. Final boss doing a lot of damage. We've seen him pop off many times. Ninja Dilly on the other side trying his best. I saw someone in chat saying he's on hotel internet, so maybe that's affecting him a little bit, but still doing the most damage for his team, getting the most slays, and they're going to need, Land Turkey's going to need to get their teamwork a little bit stronger this next map if they want to win.
Yeah, and the thing too with Lattice, it's such a new map where a lot of players haven't played it all that much, and in particular that game type, I find in matchmaking, it tends to lean more, at least from my experience, towards the King of the Hill. So it was kind of seeing that and playing that a lot more, or even just in customs, I feel like people tend to favor that. So it's difficult. A newer map, it's sometimes difficult to find out how to break the setups or push as a team. And of course, as we've been talking about all season long, a lot of inconsistency with the rosters. So I wouldn't hold all that much weight to it, whether it be a tough loss or anything for Land Turkey. They're going to bounce back.
Yeah, you know, they've gone undefeated for a reason. Ninja Dilly doing great. Star Striker, I've seen a lot of improvement from him, even through this 3 weeks, and their teamwork definitely always been their strong suit. So I'm not too worried about it. And on Live Fire, this is what we were talking about in the pregame. This is a sniper map, so you know, I see Ninja Dilly on Land Turkey side, he can snipe, but No Skill All Will, they have 2 very deadly snipers in Satsira and Final Boss.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive they are off the rip to play for that sniper. We see Bryce throwing nades towards it, and we had the luxury of seeing where everyone is on the map. Not all that aggressive, kind of waiting to get a pick. So I think that is a lot of respect shown to how many snipers they do have on No Skill All Will.
Yeah, that's true, but Ninja Dilly, he went on a flank, got 2 picks of his own, and the map's going to be kind of in a neutral state right here as we wait for this active kill. Nobody wants to die. But Land Turkey kind of aggressive on that cut side. They kill 1 person, but they get 2 of their members taken down. And Bryce, knowing he has numbers, trying to push for camo, but bump and scatter with that sniper, trying to hold him back.
Yeah, and able to do so, despite not being able to hit a shot there, he's still able to push the opponents back, which has really worked out in their favor thus far. Camouflage taken straight down right away, so unfortunate for Bryce. I know he was patient to try to get that, but he is traded out almost immediately.
Yeah, and I love how Lanturkey is playing this. We've talked about the pacing going from fast to slow, and Lanturkey, they're comfortable playing at both paces. Bump and Scatter, knowing he's the last person on the map, he knows to play a little bit slower right there, just waiting on his teammates to spawn. He's going to live towards them, and I like this out of him. It's going to be sneaky. They're not going to read this. Bump gets a nice flank, playing off his teammates' damage, and Lanturkey, they were just 3 dead, and they get 2 kills. That's really well played out of them.
Yeah, I really like that, taking a team like Lanturkey that plays aggressive, maybe even over-aggressive at times, and be able to turn that against them by Bump and Scatter playing super patient, able to really take advantage of that, as we do see a nice kill traded out by Ninja Dilly. A lot more even in terms of the slaying prowess for both these two teams, especially to start things off, which I think really bodes well. If it's going to be a scrappy game, I think you have to favor Lanturkey.
Yeah, just look at those assists right now. Ninja Dilly already with 5, he's just moving around the map, doing damage. And his comps are good because his teammates are cleaning it up. Ninja Dilly gets another guy one shot. He should be able to get this kill. Gets the double, and that's 2 dead for each side. Ninja Dilly just taking the map, taking it for himself.
You know, I haven't really watched him in all that much depth, but I like how calm he is. You really see his shot very steady, never really wavering all that much. I think it is the advantage of having a lower sensitivity that he plays on and being able to secure those shots and do so efficiently and effectively. You see him leading the way almost always in slays, but I have to give him a big shout out and big props for how steady his bandit has been.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from his free-for-all experience. He's been in the regulators, he's been grinding. He took 2nd place in the DreamHack FFA on land, so you know this man can fry, he can shoot. And when you're winning every piv, it really doesn't matter if you're not in the best positioning, because you're just winning every piv, right? You're gonna be okay. But when you can combine the shot and your positioning, Ninja Dilly's he's gonna be set up for success. He's gonna set his team up for success.
Yeah, so looking at this right now, we see Lanturkey pulling away in terms of the score. They're leading 25-14. And in terms of how they're playing this, they are playing towards a flank in here for Ninja Dilly. I wonder, he's unfortunately taken down. He could have done quite a bit of damage catching them off guard, but it was no skill all will ready for that flank. So that's really nice heads up play out of them, as they do cut the lead a little bit in here, but playing ultra aggressive is Lanturkey.
Yeah, I would definitely tell Lanturkey I want them to keep playing aggressive, but don't go too aggressive, because you'd like to at least trade out kills. The only way you give up this lead is by not trading out kills. Ninja Dilly gets a nice flank though. He's going to be able to get a clean kill here. And that's 3 dead for no skill. Ninja in a 1v1, he gets help from a teammate, and they should be able to take down the last player. And they should know the spawns are at Bravo. Ninja Dilly with the sniper, this could look really bad for no skill.
Okay, just have 4 bullets. Looking for some opponents here, able to take one down right away. He's getting some callouts, we can tell, around that big door in A positioning. Unfortunately, not able to do a ton of damage with that sniper rifle, but I think playing his life here is going to be important. Oh, he does get a nice kill there on final boss.
Ninja Dilly takes down 2 more. He's at 12 kills halfway through this game. And yeah, that's the importance of spawn knowledge, you know. They're blocking C, they're blocking A, they knew they were at B. And just doing a great job together, pushing as a team.
It'd be interesting to get a listen in on Lanturkey and hear how they're communicating, because they're playing aggressive. I wonder how their comms sound.
Sitting on bags.
Came on 9.
I'm behind you, but I'm gonna go up A, but
Hey, still on
No,
top
I'm
mid.
small window.
Top
not
one
bags.
shot.
Not bags. Key door 2 shot.
He'll die.
I'm playing.
Tell him here, he'll die. Traded 3 2.
I got it. I got it.
Don't shoot, just
One shot.
get Simba. No, don't shoot. Oh no, I'm bomb top.
Mid. He's on out there.
I'm gonna play bottom mid, watch bags.
Hey, they're spawning green.
Bottom mid with noob.
Elbow's 2 shot.
Top tower.
On a mid 1 shot.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Elbow. Elbow is 1. Elbow's absolute.
Top
Cut's
tower.
weak.
He's got 2 shots.
Top stairs there too.
Bags.
Sorry, dead. 1 shot.
We heard out of those comms. Of course, very, very confident they were able to secure that camouflage, and we do see Ritalin still doing a ton of damage with that, and they're extending their lead even more. What did you hear out of the listening? And my question to you, Dissector, is what have you heard out of both teams in the listening? Anything that stood out?
So I think, when we had our first listen in with no skill, they were doing a very good job of just being calm. And when they had that map control, it's easy. But in this map with Lanturkey, I heard a lot of confidence. Not only confidence, but directing each other and more in-game leadership. You heard Bump and Scatter saying in the comms, I'm going bottom mid, watch this. He was directing his team, telling them what to do, and I think that's so important for confidence. If you have a teammate telling you exactly what to do, you can kind of shut off your brain, just focus on doing your job, and that really helps you when it comes to just playing confident and playing as a team. But as that happens, this game has been narrowed down. I didn't even notice. It's a 1-kill lead for Lanturkey. No skill is back in this game. They're gonna tie it up.
It's so interesting because it really looked like they were in full control, getting camouflage, doing a ton of damage there, working their way towards C. But, it's tough to really say how it's playing out because when you succumb to a big lead and it gets closer, more pressure gets put on you, especially being down 0-1 in the series, as we're just trading kills back and forth here. And now we see No Skill All Will being the aggressors here, which we haven't seen yet this map.
And that was my caution to Lanturkey. The only way you throw that lead is if you get non-traded killed, And they ended up getting a bunch of deaths right there that they didn't trade out. And that lead has gone to no skill. This would be an insane comeback, but Bump and Scatter evens the game with that huge win top mid. This game is still tied.
It is so interesting because we've seen No Skill All Will kind of sit back. They've been a victim of a lot of spawn traps and force spawns. They've predominantly been playing towards the A side, and that really hasn't been by their choice. Now, once again, they're kind of reverting back to being more passive. We see a nice piv there once again, but traded out immediately, Dissector. This is a crazy game.
It is Ninja Dilly being very aggressive, but his team wasn't there to follow up on it. And the game right here is in Bump and Scatter's hand. 1 kill to go. He's got the camo. They don't know he's here. His team just needs to live because he's going to get a guaranteed back smack. Final boss gets the kill anyways, and that's an insane comeback. No skill take the game. What a game, Monique.
It really is. Yeah, that was insane. I mean, we went to the listen-in. Everything was smooth. I hope they don't feel like we jinxed them. The announcer's curse. I don't know what we just did. I hope they're not mad about that. But yeah, really, really nice composure out of No Skill All Will there because that is a huge comeback. I believe the highest, it was a 12-kill lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna ask chat and then you said it's 12 kills. I believe it. They were up big. I thought there's no way that Lanturkey throws that, especially with how good Ninja Dilly was playing. But like I said, the over aggression ends up costing them because they lose by 1 kill. That's so tough, and that's where the mental could start to flip. They know they threw that game. You can get down on yourselves. I don't think they will, and the advantage is there's a best of 7, right? So going down 2 maps isn't the end of the world, but they're going to have to respond and stay confident.
Well, another thing too that was really, really working for them was allowing Ninja to really play free, to kind of roam around the map, to do a ton of damage. There was a spot where he had sniper rifle, and I said he really needs to live, and he not only lived, he was able to get 2 kills, and of course he was traded out on that second one, but doing a ton of damage, getting kills, staying really, really effective, and staying strong when they are aggressive. That has worked to them and worked to their favor, not only this game, which unfortunately they did end up throwing, but really all season long. So I feel like from their perspective, you just have to know to play confident and to play aggressive because that has worked. It was really just unfortunate how they were able to lose this map.
Yeah, when you play aggressive, you also have to have a hint of being careful, and that was the issue. Bump and Scatter had that camouflage. He was behind 2 players, but right as he's lunging in for that back smack, final boss took someone down. So just really unfortunate timing, but I'd say overall the confidence, I'd say Lanturkey, they should be confident. They're undefeated for a reason, and I think they trust each other, which is really massive, especially in the playoffs.
So Dissector, I have a question for you as we take a look at the maps coming up. We were talking about hoping that this goes long into a best of 7. Oddball recharge. I know with playing with you a ton, you like to get early ball time and put the pressure on your opponents to kind of have to break a setup or to capitalize off that. What do you think would be a game plan for someone like Land Turkey that likes to play aggressive? Do you think it's a good idea to try to get an early pick, get the ball time, and to force No Skill All Will to break a setup early on? Or how do you feel like they should play the opening of this recharge oddball?
I think on this map, the most important thing is that camouflage, especially with the new update. It's a 45-second timer on it. So, I mean, you know, my starting strat on this map, I like to send 3 bottom mid, grab that camo quick, and then block those gold spawns. And ideally, you want to get that in the first 15 to 30 seconds because if it ends up turning into Slayer in the first few minutes, it can be really hard to grab the ball. You know, if you take too long, the spawners can start to come into play and stop you from picking up the ball from white or top A or anywhere. So I'd really like to see Land Turkey or whatever team just grab that camo and get the ball really quickly. They need to be urgent.
Yeah, so we had a couple players looking to restart their builds, which I don't know if it's all that important, if it's more psychologically. I know for us, sometimes when our game feels a little bit slow, it always feels like a good
I
reset
never
of
do
the build
that.
is important. Sometimes,
Yeah.
a lot of us can head case a little bit. I wonder if it's more of a placebo effect
Mm.
rather than having it actively be that efficient, considering we've only really played, a map and a half. But no, I'm just teasing. But that's why we have a little bit of a delay in here, of course. We are going to be underway very shortly. So talking about oddball recharge, yeah, it is interesting. Is there any team that you tend to favor off the beginning in terms of going for camouflage? Do you feel like you give an edge towards one side, Eagle or Cobra?
I would say I definitely prefer the eagle spawn just because I think it gives you a little bit better. Well, for my starting strat where I like to fly camo right away, I think, obviously I prefer eagle, but Seaside has good, they can just hold 2 people on C plat, they can delay that camo. So it just really depends on your play style as a team. I don't think either side is necessarily better. Just matters how you play it. And as far as these teams go, I'm to be humble, I think my analysis is really good. I usually have predictions, and I think they normally come correct. But I really don't know, Monique. I don't know this map. Both teams playing exceptional Halo, and it's going really back and forth. You'll see No Skill dominating that first map, then Land Turkey dominating for most of it. But I think the teamwork is going towards No Skill right now, and I think you got to give them the edge.
And when you say that your predictions are humble, or you have to convince us you're humble, I wonder how humble you really are, and we will see. Just teasing you about that. But of course, looking at it right away, there is some early action towards that camouflage. Thought that Scatter being really patient here. He is looking to, unfortunately taken down early, but he was looking to help his teammates get it, and they are able to still secure that camo.
And this is what I said right here. This was my point of interest here. I said whatever team gets the camo needs to be urgent about getting that oddball. They pick it up in the first 20 seconds, and they get 2 kills. And this could be a nice little lead for No Skill. And they get 4 dead and camouflage. Somebody needs to pick up that ball right now.
Yeah, I really like that. And one thing to point out with how Satsira is playing, I feel like a lot of players, when they do have the camouflage, they're overly aggressive and they really place an emphasis on getting those kills. You saw him staying bottom white, helping his teammates get a ton of kills and securing that oddball pickup and setup. Now he's playing a lot more aggressive, playing for shock, playing with a ton of confidence, but I really, really like the way he was patient early on. He's getting an early killing spree.
Yeah, definitely. I would say as the camo guy, your job is not to be the main slayer. Your job is to do the most damage. So if you can be sneaky, get some back shots, get some damage across the map, and just control spawns. That's really massive. You see that lead right here. No Skill are up 34-0 so far, doing an excellent job.
Yeah, doing a really, really good job getting a lot of trade outs and getting a lot of players dead early on. In fact, it looks like they're really using that aggression against them. But I wonder how strong Land Turkey is going to be when they're able to get a setup, because a map like this and seeing the way these two teams play, it really does feel like it's only going to be a matter of time before Land Turkey gets their setup as well. And to be able to see how they can combat that is going to be really important here, as we have 2 players down out of both squads, and Ninja Dilly with the shock.
And this camo right here is huge. Ninja Dilly gonna try and deny it, I think. But I think No Skill should be able to grab a Ninja Dilly in a big 1v1 as we see this third-person camera. You don't see this very often. I'm a fan of it. Ninja gets a nice kill, helping out Ritalin, but he's the last player on the map. No Skill continuing to hold that map control.
Yeah, I mean, that's really been important for them. Ninja wants to stay alive here, playing really aggressive for the ball, able to take the opponent down, and his life is really important while his teammates hope to spawn up and, of course, hold a setup of their own. But it's going to be difficult in here. They do need to collapse on those opponents in A quickly.
And you notice Land Turkey, they're able to get some slays now, but they're not able to convert it into a setup or any ball time. Ninja Dilly just trying to live in long haul, but it's going to be important for them to get the ideal spawns wherever this ball is. But they're just going to go down right here. It looks like No Skill is doing a good job getting slays, but as I say that, Ninja Dilly trying to be a nuisance, trying to create issues. He's going to make a nice trade here, but ball time continuing to be racked up. I say that, but 3 go dead, and Land Turkey, they're going to get a setup right here, it looks like.
Yeah, needs to stay alive with that oddball, and we do see the pressure coming in towards that B area. They are going to be hard pressed to hold a setup in A with the amount of pressure that we are going to be able to see out of No Skill all well, as they are just taking their time to make the push, as we do have Star Striker trading out some kills, and already 2 dead for the Land Turkey side.
Yeah, that was interesting. Both players for Land Turkey dropped the elevator, and Final Boss said, F it, I'm just going to run ball to Seek, pick up some scrappy time, and play it. It's going to give his team an ideal setup here in gold as Straight Blitz wins that piv. And, you know, the emphasis is on Land Turkey to break this. They really need to play their lives and break the setup.
Yeah, oddball on this map in particular too, you can hold a strong setup. It really just depends where you are. You can hold it A, C, B, gold. There's so many places you can. You just got to really be able to get those kills and hold that setup. But you can see rounds easily go 100-0 if you do hold a nice setup. Of course, looking at the case right now, we do see a 50-9 lead. But all we really need out of Land Turkey is one strong setup. We know they have the players that can really slay. So I'm curious to see, as they are, I feel like right now we've seen them a little bit desperate in terms of grabbing the ball at certain points, not really waiting to get, I'd say, a good number of players down before trying to get a setup. I see them playing a little bit desperate at this point, which if I was able to speak to them, I'd say just calm down. Your time will come to hold a nice setup.
Yeah, I completely agree with that analysis. Especially on a bigger map like this. The same thing for live fire. You know, it's more important to take your time to break a setup. It's better to take 10 seconds and control, get through the map, get to the right position, get that first kill, than to, you know, try and get there in 5 seconds and throw your life away. So you're just going to end up on the respawn screen like Land Turkey is right now, and No Skill is going to pick up another at least 15 seconds right here.
Problem. You saw 2 players pushing towards that C plot area, and maybe a call came in long haul because you did see one of the players looking the wrong direction, and that is unfortunate. Just not on the same page in terms of timing those pushes. And again, you see an opponent low here. They are able to get the trade out there, but it is difficult. It's so difficult to break a strong setup when you're pushing only 1, 2 at a time. You need at least 3 or pressure from different areas. So I hope they're able to get through and play a little bit more like a team.
Yeah, you can't rush it, and I think that's what Land's issues so far. And that's why I gave the edge to No Skill. Their team right now just phenomenal. And I mean, I'd say we learned how they break setups, but they haven't really had to do that. They've been in control this entire map. Is they're gonna get another active camo?
Yeah, I love to see how they're playing. I mean, working so well as a team, so effective. And again, it's difficult sometimes when you play a team like Land Turkey that is so aggressive. You really need to maintain your positioning. You need to have your teamwork on point, otherwise things can get out of hand early on. And they have just been so effective with the spots on the map they're holding, their efficiency in the OBJ, and just the fact that everyone's really on the same page. You can see that through the slays and through the assists.
Yeah, you definitely can. And Straight Blitz, he's leaning towards this gold side right here. I think they want to get that early ball time again. Would definitely be ideal, but Bump's going to get the first pick. And this camo fight's going to be very important. But Straight Blitz, the last play on the map, and this is Land Turkey's chance. Momentum is everything. They have camo. They should be able to block these gold spawns. And this is a massive play. I'd say this is the biggest opportunity of the game for Land Turkey.
Yeah, I love how aggressive they were early on to secure that camouflage. Ooh, caught looking the wrong way, Ritalin. They were trying to get opponents to spawn A. They did exactly that. I do wonder some of the comms, if they're hyper fixating on certain comms in particular, because that's the second time we've been able to see as observer an opponent looking the wrong direction. So I do wonder how that is and how their communication might be a little bit scattered at this point.
Yeah, Elusive, I agree with that. I think this would be a great chance to get into listening with Land Turkey. I want to see how they're sounding. If they have any response, any play call to get out of this.
Okay.
Bottom batteries.
Triple stacks. Triple stacks.
Bottom hit. Triple
Top right.
stack. Dead.
Hey, overhang, very weak. 2 guys.
Right on that.
Enemy has the
Looking
ball.
for this top white.
Top right is
Top white will
shots.
die. He's dead.
Hey, watch your orange, watch
Hey,
your orange.
overhang.
Here.
Overhang. Overhang will die.
Oh, I fucking
Should die.
I hit the wrong button.
Enemy has the ball.
Uh,
Ball dropped.
Top gold. He's just sitting in the
Gold steps, gold steps.
corner of the ball. Trying to look at you if I can, Kyle.
Hey,
Trade.
not a trade. Okay.
Still red on me.
Yep, top
One
gold.
shot going long haul. One shot long haul.
Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball.
Ton of
Blue
red.
pipes. Triple stacks.
We got one C plat, one on triple.
One's triple stacks.
Ball dropped.
Oh,
Camo's
he
up,
came up
camo's
behind me. Red pipes, red pipes.
Enemy
He's
has the
full.
ball.
C plat, one shot.
One.
One shot.
Oh, camo's on me. Frick. Camos, needles, batteries, grapple. Camo and grapple.
One. There's one on our top gold, right? Nice.
Camo's
kill.
dead.
Nice.
One shot, big door. One shot,
One
big
shot,
door.
one shot, we'll go.
Needles is dead.
We got jumping glass now.
Bottom,
Glass
bottom
one.
A.
Ball dropped.
Good job.
Top glass is 2 shot.
Enemy has the ball.
Bro, how?
Ball dropped.
I don't know how I didn't see him. I checked bottom A. Oh, he's still there.
All right, and we are back from that listening. And Elusive, I would say there's just a lack of direction from Land Turkey right now. You know, we've caught them looking the wrong way multiple times. It happened again just there. And
Enemy has the ball.
it's just unfortunate. They're letting people on no skill get behind them. And that lack of direction is just really causing issues for them.
Yeah, and I wish we heard a bit more, I'd say, leadership on their squad. And it doesn't even matter who's really saying it, just more communication. Like, okay, let's just say it is Ninja Dilly. He says, okay, bump a Ritalin, let's push towards A. I got you. More small talk and more direction in terms of pushing towards the ball. I feel like that could really, really help kind of taking that leadership role and taking charge, because I feel like that's what they're really lacking at this point right now, is just not being on the same page teamwork-wise. What do you think, guys?
That is really important on a map like Recharge, you know. I've competed at 5 lands now. Recharge is a map that really exposes teams with bad comms, because that small talk's so important. You know, it's such a big map where to make breaks happen, you have to be communicating where you're pushing, what you're doing, because if you're slightly 2 steps behind, the other team will punish you.
Yeah, we do see Land Turkey right now with a nice setup. Got a couple dead, 4, no skill, all will. Able to be traded out right away too. Okay, so that's nice. It's looking a little bit more promising for them to maybe secure a round here, but if they're going to do so, they are going to need to play a little bit more contained, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit reckless, a little bit scrappy right now. That's how they prefer to play, and it works, but against a team like No Skill, they're going to punish that. And we see Ritalin just sitting bottom mid. He's going to get taken out again, just taking a lot of open space. And I think when you get punished like that, when you're just dying out in the open, it really creates issues for the rest of your team. It makes it really hard to play the map.
And I really do like to see this as well out of No Skill, All Will, the fact that they're down 50 to 30 at this point and no urgency for them to throw away their lives in terms of picking up the ball. They know there's a minute 30 on the clock. Of course, when the odd ball is there, time's going to be stalled. So just no sense of panic whatsoever out of them. And why would there be? They've been so dominant in the first 2 games, and then just looking at this, I'd say first game and a half, and second half of the second game, but they have played super, super well, super on the same page. So
Ball drop.
I talked about wanting to see how they're able to break a setup. Right now might be exactly that, as we do see only a few players alive out of no skill all will.
And no skill, just a shout out to their top fragger right now, Satsira, 35 and 16, putting on a clinic. And, you know, I don't think it's a coincidence that he's a mouse and key player on a large map like this with so many crosses. He's able to just put down a lot of damage, clean up a lot of kills. Because we heard their comms, somebody's weak, he's going to hear about it. They're doing a great job. That being said, they're still down 20 seconds with 40 seconds left on the game clock. Satsira breaking the gold though. This is going to be a massive 1v1 right here. He has to live in gold pipes for this to work.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. Ninja doing a great job staying alive. Knows that Satsira was tracking him down. We're looking right now at 2 dead out of the side of Lantern. 3 dead. Final boss able to... Ooh, gets team naded there. Hopefully he's able to stay alive. He is able to pick up the ball. Really tight dissector. 16 seconds still on the clock. Traded out right away. Ooh, might be looking good for the side of Lanturkey.
Enemy has the ball.
Yeah, that's why I said Satsira needs to live top gold right there. They end up getting 3 dead, but unfortunately that last player was top gold and he shuts down that play. And that's going to be the round going to Lanturkey. I think, just a minor mistake. Bryce, he gets away with the ball though. He could make this interesting. He's trying to rotate out. 2 go dead for Lanturkey. He's not really sure where to go. He just needs it for 3 more seconds, but
Enemy has the
he's
ball.
going to get taken down. This is intense. His teammates there to help him though. They get a double kill and all skill.
Defeat.
Somehow with that triple kill are going to win the game off that, Monique. That was an insane ending.
That was insane. Nice kill at a bump and scatter, but then able to rotate the ball towards A, able to buy enough time and able to get the win. This has been crazy. Back-to-back games boiling down to a second. Insane. A second and a kill last game. That is absolutely crazy. I wonder what's going on in the head of Lanturkey with how good they've played all season long and how good they've been playing in these games. And then unfortunately to have it go like this and to be 3-0 in 2 games, they really should have least won a round in here. That is insane, Dissector.
Yeah, my bad. No skill. I thought that round was over. I called it. And
there's something
somehow
funny
they just
going on
get
right
away
now.
with it.
Saying GG's, but of course, no GG's as we do have no skill or will in a best of 7. But it is funny to see the chat out of the players saying no LOL best of 7. So even them forgetting Satsira maybe prematurely saying GG's.
Yeah, just a little bit of confusion, and I mean, I think everyone's head is scrambling after that round. That was crazy. But that ice came through. I think it was just the comms. And just like you said, they were down 20 seconds with 40 seconds to go, and No Skill just staying calm. They didn't rush anything. They played that incredibly intelligently, and that's why they won that map, and that's why they're up 3-0 right now. I think they're just the smarter team right now.
Fortress CTF. I know a lot of players are not excited to be playing this in particular, a map that tends to get a lot of size when you do see it in matchmaking, but for teams
Capture
like
the
this where you
flag.
do have a lot of players favoring the sniper rifle, that could really, really be heavily influenced. And what's interesting off the rip here, we talked about last map, Recharge, with Camouflage being so influential. How about Overshield in here? How aggressive do you feel both squads are going to be to secure that early?
I feel like both need to be, and the other X factor on this map is the sniper rifle. We've seen, you know, a lot of people on both teams can pop up with it, so it's going to be very important. I'd imagine Ninja Dilly and Satsira are going to go for their own snipes. And we have Bryce right here trying to contest the overchill. Boss drops down for it, but somebody on Lanturkey ends up grabbing it, and that's a for quick 3 dead for all skill. And Lanturkey trying to get an early grab. The last player straight blitz try and take down Bump and Scatter. He's not going to be able to, and this should be a really clean run for Lanturkey.
Yeah, of course the enemy is spawning up, but they are going to get this flag really, really far, and this is an important early break out of them, as they have been playing from behind last game in particular. So hopefully they are able to secure an early flag cap as the flag is moving closer and closer, and we do have our first cap. 1-0 early on the board. Dissector will make of that early run and cap.
That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you need as Land Turkey. You just fumbled the bag on a really important game 3. This was really important to get their confidence up. A flag cap in the first minute. Land Turkey just needs to keep the pressure up, keep control of this map, and they not only, I don't think they need to win it, I think they need to dominate this map and just show everyone why they've been undefeated this season, show everyone why they're the #1 seed.
So are you saying, as you've been so quick with your predictions in the words of yourself, do you feel like we could be in the works for a reverse sweep, or is it too early to say that?
Hey, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far. I care about my reputation a lot, as you know. But yeah, I mean, I think they just need to send the message right here. As they get a flag pull, but Final Boss doing a great job denying it going any further. And, you know, as close as these games have been, I don't see a reverse sweep, but I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see some more great Halo tonight. Final Boss playing really well overall. I love what he's doing in the middle of the map, just putting pressure, just getting a few shots in and backing up. He's patient, gets that kill, and he's doing a great job just living.
Yeah, he really is. And he's, of course, playing out of his own flag, but he's able to get some nice kills there. And he knows the enemies are going to pull the flag. They do have overshield. Getting some damage down is going to be pivotal as he does do that. And he's able to get a kill as well. I wonder what his teammates are going to do as this flag run, once again, looks pretty strong with that overshield.
Yeah, this should be a cap for sure, but the important thing is Land Turkey should read these spawners. I hope they still have control of the armory. We can't tell, but if they do, which apparently they don't, but they should get it right back. They kill 3 people, and Land Turkey could be setting up for another pull right here. They know these spawners are elbow. Star Striker gonna get right in the middle of the action, gonna get a nice little flank. He's not spotted. He gets a kill, and that flag is already halfway across the map, elusive.
Yeah, really, really nice. Able to get the slays, able to get the pulls. Sometimes on a map like this, just getting the flag out is really, really important. Ooh.
Almost. That could have been the game right there. They barely get the reload.
How about this counter here?
They want to get this counter. But Bumpy's got it with the snipe. He's shown us that he can snipe before. Gets a nice little trade, but on the other side, straight blitz. You know, he's not going to blitz right here. He's going to play kind of passive with this sniper. He needs to make this count. He's got 7 bullets left. He can change the direction of this map.
Yeah, we haven't really seen him with a sniper rifle all that much. What do you think? His approach with sniping here is a little bit more conservative, but of course I think you have to be with so much ammo in the sniper rifle. He's waiting for information. He sees Ninja in his bottom tower.
Yeah, you definitely,
staying alive.
Yeah, you definitely need to survive with that. Unfortunately, Ninja Dilly gets a double kill. He's really angry, and you can tell he's playing very aggressive right now. He does not want to go down.
So right now we see some aggression out of Land Turkey once again. That's worked to their advantage. You got 2 taken down on the side of No Skill All Will. Doesn't look like a flagpole is going to come in at this point, but they're just looking to keep No Skill All Will push back in their base and keep that pressure on, which has worked to their advantage. With the 2-0 lead at 7:44, I'm not saying that's safe by any stretch, but keeping up the pressure, you don't really need another pull. So just keep the enemies in their base on their own side. That would be, I'd say, more than enough at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And you notice 3 go dead for No Skill, and just Land Turkey keeping constant pressure, which I think is important on Fortress. You want to suffocate your opponents in their base, because if you have that ring, you have the towers, it's really easy not only to read the spawners, but to get damage.
You know, what I find interesting watching this, there hasn't been a ton of control of that wing area. I know we see Satsira there right now, but we've seen a lot of the strength, especially out of Land Turkey, has been kind of holding that tower positioning. Of course, holding ring, but not really as prominent on the wing area as we tend to see out of some teams. Did you notice that as well, or what are your kind of thoughts on that? Because that's usually a pretty powerful spot on a map like this.
Wing is definitely one of the most important spots. You have height, and you get just information you can see everywhere. The other most important part of the map is the other team's armory. If you can get in there, you're blocking a major spawn, and you're dictating the map. You're cutting it pretty much you're putting the other team in a fourth of the map, right? They can only go one way if you have their armory. So it's just really beneficial being there. Ninja Dilly kind of leaving the armory, though, trying to chase some kills down. But he's doing a great job just living on the other side. If he gets a pick here, they don't read him. He should get this pick, and this could be a massive kill to stop this pull.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing super, super good, super aware. He's one of those players that is really, really aware of where not only his teammates are, but where the enemies are on the map. As we see Overshield being picked up by Ritalin. I wonder how much damage he can do with the flag, or with the Overshield here. I wonder if his play is to get some slays before pushing in. Not getting a ton of help from his teammates at this point, as that Overshield is almost
Enemy
worn off.
flag returned.
Yeah, they have an opportunity with that Overshield, but they almost intercepted. Ritalin just trying to play his life now. He gets a kill. Lanturkey still being those initiators. I remember Final Boss had this sniper on his team, and he's just trying to stay alive with it. Leave Ritalin though. Trying to get a pull here. I'm not sure if I love this, but if they can continue to get slays, this flag could get pulled. It could continue to move. But like I said, I think he just rushed it a little bit, and 3 go dead for Lanturkey. Ninja Dilly is the last player with the sniper rifle, and he should collect even more ammo right here from Boss. He gave him a nice gift right there.
You know, I did really like that Ritalin was patient with the Overshield. Of course, when you do have it, sometimes you feel that pressure to be more aggressive and get a flag pull. But then I feel like if you don't get it right away, it's almost better to do what he did and get tower, get a trade, keep the pressure on them in the base. And again, being up 2-0, we talked about that at 7:20. Now we're looking at 4:44 and still up 2-0. And they have Ninja Dilly with 22 kills, Bump and Scatter with 11. Tons of damage being done on their side, and really holding those opponents to being to playing out of their own base and on their own side. So that's been their strength this match. What do you think? So if you are no skill all will, do you kind of wait for the Overshield to come up? Do you try to play that? How do you get yourself back in the game here?
2 dead right here, so I would stay aggressive here. 3 go down. And it would be really great for them to pull the flag, and then one of his teammates gets the Overshield and kills the spawners, and it looks like that's what they're going to opt to do. So that's here. I like how he's playing that sniper. I think whenever you're that sniper, you can't be the initiator. You just have to cover space and trust your team to do damage. But no skill, they're going to get that flag halfway across the map, a little bit more than halfway. This is going to be a big pivot right here. And Bryce gets the flag all the way to the back. 2 dead for both sides. This is going to get scrappy right here. So 3 go dead for Lanturkey. This should be a cap.
Yeah, nice pull there. And the reason I asked you about that was Overshield was coming up in about that 5-second mark, so they were able to secure that, get those slays, and be able to capture a flag, as they are right back in and cutting that lead in half with 3 minutes. And now I feel like a little bit more, well, a lot more pressure is put on the side of Lanturkey, because they were so dominant, and they were really forcing no skill or will on their side. And right now we see them maybe with their backs up against the wall a little bit. How do you feel this game's playing out after that flag cap? Do you think it looks like we might be in store for a tie game, maybe even overtime, or do you still give the edge to Lanturkey?
I'd still give the edge to Lanturkey just because time is becoming that 5th teammate. But like you said, that mental component, they threw the last game, they threw the second game. I think part of them has to wonder, oh, how are we going to lose this one, you know? Could be in their mind that they're destined to choke it. I don't think so, though. I think Ninja Dilly, he's playing strong right now, 27 and 15. He's going to be inspiring confidence in his troops, and I'd actually love to get a listen in. Is there any team you'd prefer to listen to right now, Elusive?
Dealer's choice.
All right, I would like to say No Skill All Will as they're the team that is down. We haven't had a listen in with them since game 1, so if we go over to there, I'd love to hear how the comms are sounding.
I spawned a spiral. Okay,
Obi's up.
Obi. One in her wing.
1 shot, third tower.
Heard that. Dude, I cannot. It's absolutely here.
They have OS.
Yep.
Nice, good shot.
Obi's running it.
Huge play,
I
boss.
had traded somehow. What? Let's gather bomb. They're spawning though.
Enemy captured your flag.
Okay.
Defeat.
Got one.
Never
all good.
terrible, man.
Dude, Dilly's ripping us up, dude.
Dude, Dilly was all over the place that fucking match. I swear, every time I
All
died,
good.
it was like, oh, Dilly. Oh, Dilly.
It's all good.
He's what we call dog shit fuck. It's fine.
Boss, you've said for a long time that's the worst game mode in the entire set, right?
Game mode
Yo.
or map?
Both.
All right, and we're back, and that was a very important win for Land Turkey. Not only that, I think they sent a message there, and you noticed in that listening, the players on No Skill giving Ninja Dilly his props. One of their players said Dilly was ripping it up, and shout out to him. He was definitely dominating, and he does not want this series to be over. That's something that No Skill they got to think about. They have to think about how hard this last win is going to be, just because Land Turkey has their backs against the wall.
Yeah, really, really nice for them to secure that overshield, get the flagpole, final boss, doing some nice sniping as he has really, really done all season long, but unfortunately unable to get more than one kill with the flag runner. They were able to secure that third flag, and I would say they were in pretty much complete control of that game. It did look dicey for a little bit. There was 1.2 around that 2-minute mark where we did see 3 dead on the side of Land Turkey, but No Skill All Will being a little bit more, I'd say, patient in terms of pushing up and taking that space. And unfortunately, when you do have that slaying prowess like Land Turkey, wasn't really all that bad going 3 down as they were able to almost reverse that and get 2 dead themselves. So game 3 is going to be a really interesting one as we switch back to a Slayer.
Yeah, and it looks like the Slayer is going to be on Street. So this is a map I love. And like I always say in my predictions, this map comes down to your superstars. And Ninja Dilly, I declared him the MVP of the season for a reason. He is a problem on the map. And especially you don't want to have a competitor like Ninja Dilly with his back against the wall because they will deliver. I actually think Land Turkey takes this. They're a very good Slayer team, and Ninja Dilly, he's hungry right now.
All right, I'm excited to see how this plays out. Last Slayer was it came down to 1 kill, and of course, it was a team that was playing from behind almost entirely, able to secure that. We've had some crazy, crazy games already to this point. I know you said you give the edge to Land Turkey, or you feel like they're going to take this one. Give me a score prediction. If you're going to go with a team prediction, give me a score prediction as well.
50-37.
Ooh, so a
And
dominant
yeah,
victory.
dominant victory. I think Streets is going to start to snowball. I think Land Turkey's going to grab a camo. Ninja Dilly's going to get the red gun, and they're going to go to work. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's crazy. 2 of these games came down to literal seconds. That Slayer was less than half a second that decided it, and that oddball was absolutely bananas. So just such close margins between these teams. But Ninja Dilly, like I said, I keep saying it, he's going to go crazy this map.
Okay, so now I need to ask the chat, what is your score prediction? What's your opinion on who's going to come out on top on the Street Slayer game? Someone go against Dissector, please. I'm curious to
I'm
see
not
if
used to
anyone's a big
that.
no skill all will fan here. I wonder. I mean, it's so interesting because I mean we did see the Slayer early on be dominated by Land Turkey with their aggression, and then they got overly aggressive at points were countered by no skill all will who were a lot more precise. We heard the listening, they were calm, they kind of accepted that defeat, and it's easy to do so when you're up 3-0, now 3-1 at this point. So I wonder. I mean, I think your prediction is interesting that you feel like that it's going to be a dominant victory, considering it really hasn't been dominant up until that last map being Fortress. So I am excited to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, momentum very massive in Halo. We felt that, anytime we play together and just in general, especially in the HCS, in AB League, momentum is everything and mental is everything. Halo is a mental game. So, I just expect Land Turkey. They're just riding a high right now, and they really don't want to lose. They've been so dominant this entire year. It would be a massive shame if they were knocked out right here.
Okay, so Dissector, we got some scores in the chat. 50 to
Slay.
49 Land Turkey. Another one 50 to 49 again. 50 to 43. So, yeah, interesting. A lot of players going in favor of Land Turkey. They do have the momentum. We have Ninja, who has been completely dominant slaying-wise. That's going to work to his advantage. I do feel like it's going to be a lot closer. Just kind of seeing how things have played out to this point. But I'll be different here. I will go no skill, all will to close it out.
Yeah, that's why the chat having my back, everyone agreeing with me, Land Turkey's gonna win. I'm glad somebody has my back. But we have Bryce just trying to hold PD in here. And just fighting for this B side, which I would say is super important in a Slayer. Get that red gun control. That's a nice thing from his teammate. They're just working together on B. Bryce, if you live here, that's massive. And no skill actually starting with a few slays on the board right here. They're up by 3. With 2 dead, they should be able to grab this camo. Bryce just watching for the spawners. I like this a lot out of him.
Yeah, I really, really like that. And we're talking a little bit about teamwork, and to see 4 kills down and 4 assists on the board, that really tells you. Of course, it is the opening, and you know exactly where your opponents are going to be coming from. But right now, we're tied up already. So the tide's already potentially turning here. But yeah, this is going to be a scrappy one, which is why I got to give you a hard time about your prediction.
Yeah, and, Ninja Dilly giving the other team a hard time. Nice shots right there. Gonna give his team the lead. Gonna make it a 2-kill lead. He's trying to have my back. He's trying to make me look good with my prediction. Is he's gonna continue to push the C guy? Is he gonna try and block the spawns here? He's gonna try and force a B spawn. His team should be able to crash on it. They have no idea he's here. They don't suspect him. Ninja Dilly on a killing spree makes that 6 kills in a row. He's trying to make that 7, going for the triple kill. And like I said, Streets is for the superstars. That's why it's my best map. And definitely, I can definitely tell Ninja Dilly is a massive fan as well.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Bryce having height advantage, of course, knowing where Ninja's coming from, coming up the driveway, and backing down takes so much respect to Ninja Dilly with how strong his gunny has been. And I do feel like with a team like No Skill All Will, just doing some damage, knowing that your teammates are close by, able to trade out, is really important in here. As we see a lot of players really chowing pretty aggressively, Camouflage being picked up by Bump and Scatter. I wonder how much damage he's able to do here, as he is able to get 1 kill right away.
Yeah, Bump, he's a very slow-paced player, so camo works naturally to his strengths. He's gonna pick up these nades. I really like that. And you notice he has the repulsor as well. He's got so much utility. He needs to break the setup. He should have info on all 4 of them. He's gonna go for a repulsor stick, like I said. He gets 1. He's going for the 2nd stick, but he's still putting pressure on the other team. And this should be a clean break for Land Turkey. 2 go down, 3 go down, and straight blitzed is the last player alive. He's a spawner at B. And, you know, No Skills, they're going to have to take themselves out of this hole. It really needs to start right here.
Yeah, and I'm reading chat, catching up, and keeping up with everything. A lot of people requesting the Ninja Dilly point of view. So when we have a chance, I'd love to see that as well, and just be able to hop on board with him playstyle-wise and see how he's been, because he is leading the way in terms of slays with 8 as we hop on board with man himself, and maybe that was another announcer's curse as he is taken out right away. But yeah, I mean, it is really interesting to watch him play. Sometimes watching a player like Bump and Scatter, seeing him play a little bit more methodical, but hopping aboard with someone like Ninja Dilly, who's almost always in the action, it's such a different change of pace.
Yeah, and I love the dynamic. You know, you have Bump and Scatter, one of the old heads, respectfully, and you see, you know, the younger generation with Ninja Dilly. That's the cool thing about these leagues. There's so much diversity of, you know, a lot of people that come from different backgrounds, people that are more classic players, people that have grown up with this new, faster-paced Halo, and, you know, they also play other games. I know Ninja Dilly, he's a grinder. He's an achievement player, actually. He plays a lot of single-player games, lots of hardcore games. He loves the challenge, and that's why he's such a good competitor. He's always hungry to learn, always hungry to get better. And we're gonna hop on board with Land Turkey. We have Bump and Scatter again with the camo, and this is just completely dominant out of them. They have not only map control, but they have all the power up and power weapon control.
Yeah, they're able to secure the power up, and they've done quite a bit of damage with the power up, and that's worked to their advantage. And right now, seeing a player like Bump and Scatter, he can just ping opponents, call them out, and then of course it is favorable for Land Turkey to collapse, knowing that they have a ton of opponents stuck in C, working their way towards B. So they are pretty stuck at this point, and Camo has been a huge influence on this map.
I've noticed this 2 times. Land Turkey's doing a great job containing spawns. I've noticed that's their second push, where they force the spawns at B, and then one of their players goes behind them at driveway and gets 2 free kills. And that's just the difference between these two teams right now. Is Land Turkey just has total control and they're reading the spawns. It's less that they're reading the spawns, but they're controlling the spawns, and that's exactly what you want to do in Slayers.
Yeah, especially on a map like this where you can really force opponents to spawn in unfavorable positions. Final boss able to take down a kill right there. He is looking to get his team right back in it as he knows a player is sitting towards benches. Is he able to get the kill here? That's a big one. Opening the map up a little bit for his team to push, maybe collapsing some players in C.
Yeah, and the important thing if they want to get back to it, No Skill has to get a lot of non-traded kills. Unfortunately, they trade out in that 2v2. And Land Turkey's just going to continue to inch closer to this.
Team nearing victory.
Yeah, looking good. So let's talk a little bit about some stat lines that we've seen. Looking at the assists, no one completely dominating in terms of that category. On a map like this, it's tough too. You do have a lot of clean kills usually. So I don't generally see on a Slayer a ton of assists on this map, as we do have another camo pickup by Land Turkey. Has that been every camouflage thus far out of
I was
Land
about
Turkey?
to say, I think that's number 3 or 4. That's definitely, whenever we go to someone's POV, it's always Land Turkey with the camo Star Striker, just playing passive here. I love this. Doing information, using that ping. I know you love to ping. It's so useful to your team. Just being patient, just living with the camo. He's got all day to work with it. I don't want to see him rush it. And ultimately, he doesn't. He ends up getting a kill and living, and collapse on the last player in B. There's your dagger. I'm going to call it. That's the game for Land Turkey. Dissector stays undefeated with his conditions.
All right, no comment there. Let's see how this map ends up panning out in terms of the score. Yeah, no, you were right, There was a lot of pressure put on by Land Turkey, a lot of their main players. You got 3 of them in double digits. That really speaks for itself in terms of their slaying prowess. Camouflage being dominated. I remember I kind of posed the rhetorical question of, was that every single camouflage? I remember there was a 4-1 start out of No Skill All Will, so I'm sure they picked up the camo or was burnt right away. But yeah, camouflage being such an influence on this map and players taking advantage of that. Sometimes you see it as an early bird, but you had Bump and Scatter staying alive forever, Star Striker doing a ton of damage with it too, as we do have another map going in favor of Land Turkey.
Alright. And yeah, just Land Turkey, just shout out to Ninja Dilly. I told you he is not going to lose this map. It's going to be really hard for No Skill. They awaken the beast, Star Striker, just trying to get his stick for that last kill. And Land Turkey, they're selling my prediction, just going down way too much. Before I said 50 to 37, I believe that's 50 to 40, so about where I said. But yeah, just Land Turkey, they're here to play. They're a dominant Slayer team, but the question is, they're going to have to win another OBJ if they want to win this series.
Yeah, I'm not all that worried in terms of how they've been able to play. Now, maybe even the pressure is put on the side of No Skill All Will. Their wins have come scrappy, whereas we've seen 2 dominant victories back to back out of Land Turkey. So I do wonder how the mentality is for No Skill All Will. It's always the most difficult to close out the series. It's easy to get a couple of those wins early on, but to close it out and get to that win number 4, that has been difficult to this point. But they do have some games to work with in hand. So it's interesting. Mentality-wise, I feel like you're feeling really good if you're Land Turkey, but you also got to be feeling still really good about No Skill All Will, considering how well you have played early on, especially in that OBJ.
Yeah, both teams, no reason to panic, no reason to lose confidence. And it's really interesting, these next two maps, it looks like we're actually doing a King of the Hill recharge again. I'm not sure if the teams are going to agree to play something else since they already played recharge, or if they're going to stick to it. But that was a map that we saw No Skill kind of dominated in for the most part. And then game 7, if we go there, will be a Slayer Aquarius, which I think favors the fast pace of Land Turkey, but also the teamwork for No Skill. It's really a mix-up, so I have no idea what's going to happen. Uh, this is going to be a really interesting game right here, Monique.
This is, and I wonder how Land Turkey is feeling because they should have had that second round in Oddball, of course, playing a map that they just played. I think it really does work that you're able to see how your opponents have really been playing. We know Land Turkey is going to be aggressive. That's really what we've seen out of them. Teamwork-wise, last map we didn't see all that much cohesion as we have seen earlier with No Skill All Will, but I love the way that they played this map the first time around, and I love the way they played Objective. So King of the Hill playing out pretty similar to that Oddball at times. So I am excited. What do you think, Dissector? What are your thoughts early on?
Yeah, I think bump and scatter with the camo. That's a common theme that we've noticed and that we've seen. And as they take 2 players down, they're going to get some early hill time. The only issue is that there's 2 players in gold. Bump's going to need to take someone down. And it could be difficult for him. He's kind of whiffing some shots right here. But his teammate kills him, I guess. He should be able to take gold control right here. Maybe, I think he gets a blank, but he ends up finishing that kill. And Land Turkey, they're going to continue to have gold control and camo. So Bump's just trying to kill this hill guy really quickly, and then he needs to win this piv at gold. He's going to end up, the player's going to chase him. I don't know about that, but this is looking really good for Land Turkey thus far.
Yeah, looking good. And of course carrying that momentum into them in their favor, but this is a really difficult game type in terms of it usually being back and forth. It's difficult to hold the spawns in here. It's difficult to capture the hill, especially with a hill like this. I tend to find that because you can get so much damage being pretty much out in the open. You can get a lot of nades coming in from A, nades coming in from glass, nades coming in from C, but we do see Land Turkey looking to get an early score on the board, as we do have Satsira getting a kill, getting traded out right away, but he's still scoring, Dylan.
Yeah, and I like how Land Turkey's playing this. I always emphasize to my team, or when I'm playing aids, you know this very well, I'll yell at people, I'll be like, hey, we need gold before we get gold. And Land Turkey doing a good job just holding on to gold, but right here, 2 of them go down, and they just need one good push to break the setup.
Yeah, right now we're looking at it, we're seeing some kills traded out, some teamwork on the side of Land Turkey, 2 kills down, Bryce in the hill, probably going to be taken down pretty early, but he's doing a good job playing his life for now as he is taken down, and it looks like Hill is going to be secured by the side of Land Turkey, an early 1-0 score with not a ton of time off the clock.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a big battle going on in C right here. It's kind of massive because you want those spawns. You know, King of the Hill is just a game of spawns. You know, you just want to control the closest part of the map to the hill. And if you're the other team, you want to break those spawns. You need to get that first pick and apply a lot of pressure. And that's exactly what All Skill does. They get 3 down, and Bryce just holding on to white. I don't want to see him be too aggressive right here. He does. He's going to get in this shot, but he's going to get punished, I think. He does get punished. But his teammate ends up trading the kill. And it's going to be kind of neutralized right there. It's a 2v2 straight blitz. I'd like to see him be aggressive here and work with his teammate. They need to block these C-spawns, which is exactly what he's going to do. And if he can just continue to live back here, that's going to be massive.
Yeah, at certain points, especially on a map like this and a game type like this, just being able to hold around the hill is almost as important as getting some of that hill time too. You talked about really being able to secure that back silo position, but taken down early, and it is the aggression of Land Turkey working in their favor once again as they get more enemies down out of No Skill All Will. Looks like again they're just building a really nice lead on hill number 2.
Yeah, this is definitely going the opposite way of that oddball. You see Land Turkey just kind of dominating. I think it's easier for them to just read this map. You know, it's more simple. It's just, hey, we need to hit C. We can either take white or long haul. So it's really simple, and I think that favors them. It just allows Ninja Dilly to play everything straight, play it simple. And Bump and Scatter just trying to live up top here. They're just going very scrappy right now. Bump kind of trying to desperate the hill. I'm not sure if I like that. but he's going to force the player out of backseat. His teammates should be able to finish a kill, but it doesn't look like they're able to. And this hill could actually be going the way of all skill.
Yeah, Bump a little bit aggressive in there, just seeing only a sliver of hill time needed, and that worked against them. I know from his perspective, he felt like if he can get the kill in hill, there might not be an opponent super close, he might be able to steal that hill, but unfortunately that wasn't the case, as that good lead on hill number 2 was dissipated pretty quickly. 1-1.
Yeah, I think Bump definitely wants that playback, and that's a massive hill right there. That's a massive swing. Not only does all skill tie the game, but they deny a 2-hill, lead right there, and that's just absolutely massive. And it's gonna look like I'd like to see No Skill block the A right there. Straight Blitz deciding just to get some hill time though, and Ninja gonna get behind him and punish. This will be A spawn so important. Ninja Dilly just locking that down. If he lives here, it's gonna be impossible for All Skill to get any time.
Yeah, he's taken down pretty early on. Would be so difficult for him to live since it's called out immediately. All of his teammates seeing some fighting there. So he's taken down early, and it is No Skill All Will able to get some good hill time. It's been a while, and it's been the first time this game we've seen them build a nice little lead on a hill early on. Looking at it and seeing some taken down, this is a big pivot of Final Boss. He's able to get a nice double kill at Dissector. What do you think of that?
I think that's massive. I think, Halo is about your star players, and Satsura, he's been the star player the last time on Recharge. I think he went double positive. He was something like 30 and 15, I forget. But Final Boss is their other star player, and he's double positive right now, 15-7. As they take the lead, Final Boss, he was a very proficient, very good Halo 5 player. He doesn't play this game as much, but all the talent in the world, he still has it, and he's showing us why right now. He doesn't want to lose either. He does not want to throw away this 3-0 lead that they had in the series.
Yeah, I love the way that they're playing. I mean, no panic once again, and that's really worked out in their favor. This would be a great time for a listen-in with Land Turkey. I would love to hear how their comms sound. So far, they've been super calm, but right now, their back's up against the wall, being down 2-1.
Don't need to chase. You don't need to chase.
Yeah, but I want to.
Enemy spawning there.
Top line, bottom line.
Enemy coming from your guys' white.
Watch white.
Chip.
On overhang.
Overhang, yeah.
Overhang. One
And
shot.
and glass with shock.
Hydro, one shot.
One on mid. One shot.
One shot on blue. Nice.
Dead.
One more on hill. One more on hill.
Shock ledge. It's top gold.
Glass.
Yeah,
glass.
He's gonna be in glass. Get hill time. Get hill time.
I got time. I got time.
Enemy team took
Alright, there's one just sitting in glass. I'm just gonna get into sneaky. You're getting naded though. Careful. In long haul. 2 in long haul. 2 in long haul. Both pretty weak.
Hey, B box. What are we?
Got one absolute. Killed one. Someone check my sneaky. One shot hill. One shot hill.
Bottom white.
Your last step up. Your last step up.
There you go. Oh, back blue as well.
Good try. Scamming on batteries. One shot batteries. For this
I'm
white
trying
kid.
to make you kill in my bed.
It's on you. Got him, I got him. There's another one bottom.
Top A, one shot.
Live there, Bob. Live in Sneaky.
Got a trade.
Good trade.
We were back from that listen, Elusive. Is there anything you took away from that?
I mean, outside of the don't chase call out that we heard that I know you got a little bit of a laugh out of, not all that much. I mean, their communication has been steady. It's been what we've heard out of them for the most part, just staying calm. But yeah, I mean, I feel like looking at it and seeing how their backs were up against the wall, and now even more where it looks like this is a really strong setup out of No Skill All Will. In terms of your question, just the fact that they've been able to kind of stay composed and be really light with it. I know there's a lot of pressure that could be on your side, especially when, you know, you're one game away from elimination. Anything you heard out of that?
I just agree with that. They're a very light team. They don't feel the pressure too much, which I think is good for them. They're just having fun. They're here to win it, though. And they're
Hill
definitely
incoming.
here to play as they tie the game up, and they're doing a great job just living at C, it looks like. But Star Striker not aware of the guy at A that's going to come behind and kill him. White Control giving up, and this could be pretty bad for Land Turkey as they go 3
Enemy
dead.
team took the hill.
Yeah, going 3 dead. Bump and Scatter staying alive at back silo. Do they know he's there? This is going to be really interesting to see how he plays that as he opts to play aggressively. That could work out to his disadvantage as and it exactly does that as, of course, we do see No Skill will able to collapse in on him. He was in such a good spot, and that's the second time we've seen him just a tad bit overly aggressive where it's worked against him.
Yeah, definitely. And you notice Bryce just living on the C plat as Allskill is going to get half this hill. Land Turkey's stuck in gold, and Star Striker's going to get taken down first. This is looking really, really bad for Land Turkey right here. And this is with a minute to go as Satsira gets a double kill. He was that star player in the first recharge game, and he's showing up right now for his
Enemy
team.
team scored.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about hills being out in the open, being difficult to control. Well, not when you're forcing spawns and not when you're getting slays like Satsira has been. When you have a player that's playing so confident, so effective, and you know where the enemies are spawning, that could work out in their favor. And this is a really difficult part of the game for Land Turkey as they know they're down a hill. It's a hill out in the open, which you can nade from tons of different positions, like I was saying, and you need to get this one here. They're going to need a bunch of kills early on as we're able to get one and a little more hill time. What do you think right now?
Enemy team
This hill
took the
can be
hill.
difficult to capture, but as long as you have that gold control, it's pretty easy. And they have about half the hill captured. They just need to not throw their lives away right here. Bump and Scatter, getting a nice kill, but Final Boss working his way into gold. Like I said, that could be a problem, as he's going to kill the hill guy. And this is Land Turkey. They really have set themselves up well here, but they can't throw away their lives.
Yeah, a little bit difficult at this point to kind of see who we're on board with, but we'll just start and talk about what's playing out as we can see where everyone is on the map right now. Scrappy here, of course, needs to be for the side of Land Turkey, but a ton of patience out of Bryce, able to secure that kill here. He needed to live. Unfortunately, he was out in a pretty difficult spot to stay alive. Land Turkey, I don't want to speak too soon, but looks like they're able to tie things up as they are able to do exactly that. 3-3 with 1 hill left.
Yeah, no more caster curse. You know, we're on our game. But, you know, they took that hill in 12 seconds. So, very efficient out of Land Turkey. They just need to hit this rotation of 2C, and unfortunately, they're going to get taken down Allskill with a better position to start. But Ritalin with a nice cross-map kill. But 2 go down for Land Turkey, and Allskill, they're going to pick up some good time right here, Monique.
Yeah, that was kind of looking like deja vu for Bump and Scatter. We saw that earlier where he was living back silo, taken down early, and then right away Satsira able to get a kill on him. He would have been so strong if he was able to live at that back silo position, but we see No Skill Will building up a really nice sizable lead as we do have Camouflage being taken down as Star Striker, but players on No Skill living around that long haul C position, which is important, and still hill time.
Yeah, No Skill looking very good right here, and this hill is almost captured. 2 go dead though. Land Turkey, they need to play perfect Halo from here on out to win this map. Bryce just trying to live in sneaky. If he can live long haul, that'll be massive, but his teammates need to get there. They need to help him make a play.
Yeah, I like that he is not pushing it aggressively, knowing that he's going to get himself in likely a 3v1, 2v1 at best scenario. He's waiting for his teammates to come through. They're doing that. One nice break is all No Skill Will needs, and so much damage going down by Satsira. Wow. His gunny is, wow, triple kill.
Yeah,
that is as steady as it gets.
Yeah, Satsira very hot right now, coming out with that triple kill, and that's going to secure not only the game, there is your dagger, I would say, if they don't throw it. Satsira trying to G-slide for the hill. I'm not cursing this. I'm not cursing this. And No Skill all gonna come out with the upset. The number 4 seed takes down the number 1 seed, and they hand Land Turkey their first loss of the season. What a series, Elusive.
What a series, and we have seen some players go absolutely ham, I guess is a great way of putting it. Go crazy. Satsira, I love how steady his shot was. There was so much pressure for them. I say huge shout out to Bryce right there,
Wow.
being able to stay alive, long haul, wait for his teammates. And that to me was the difference in the game. He was able to get
Mhm.
Satsira, who is almost dropping a 40 bomb at 39, laying down a ton of damage, picking up a triple kill, securing the hill despite Dissector giving them the game early on. What an awesome performance out of No Skill.
And huge shout out to Bryce right there. People look so often at the stats, but Bryce, and I think overall for No Skill, their advantage, their edge in this series was just having that patience. They were never panicking, and despite, losing 2 maps in a row, they kept to their composure. And, everyone on their team, they allowed each other to make plays. Satsira and Boss kind of going back and forth, being their top slayers, top damage dealers. And yeah, good effort out of Land Turkey. Definitely a shout out to them. Ninja Dilly, definitely the MVP of this season. Most damage in the lobby right there, but as a team, just couldn't come out on top of it. But just really impressive by both teams, Monique. That was such a fun series to cast.
It was so much fun, and we had a lot of sweeps early on, and we wanted more Halo. I know that. And last week we only had 2 teams on the broadcast. We wanted more Halo. Well, this absolutely makes up for it. For No Skill All Will next week in the finals, I would love to see them a bit more on top of overshields, camouflage, all of that, because they were winning these games predominantly on patience and good teamwork. But if they're able to secure some of those power ups, I feel like that makes them even stronger. But I love that effort, and take nothing away from Land Turkey. They have to be super proud of how they performed tonight as well.
Definitely. And just shout out to all the players here. Shout out to our observer, Naughty Angel, and everyone in the Twitch chat. We would not be doing these leagues. We wouldn't be casting this if it wasn't for you guys. We appreciate all the subscriptions. And yeah, that was the semifinals. So next week we're gonna have the grand finals, and it's gonna be No Skill All Will versus either Anticipate the Rush or Undeniable, which we've seen before this season. And this whole league has been so much fun to cast elusive. I love how the teams have grown together and gotten better. And this should be the best week of Panda coming up.
I love it too, and it might be fun for us to go back and to see some of those MVP moments and some of those plays that, we were talking a little bit about Bryce and how he might, looking at the scoreboard, doesn't necessarily stand out being all that flashy, but I really do feel like he was that difference maker to secure the win. So it'd be interesting to see that, because I know we had Satsira a couple weeks ago hitting a ton of really big slays, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see for the finals next week.
Yeah, really quickly, we do have an update. We have an update. The other match has concluded. Anticipate the Rush beating Undeniable 4-0, a clean sweep. So your grand finals are going to be No Skill All Will versus Anticipate the Rush. I'm really excited for that matchup, and we'll definitely be back next week here. We're going to be casting it, and it's going to be super fun. A few things before we close out the stream. If you're maybe tired like us after that cast, watching that Halo, or you just need a little bit of energy, you can use code ASCEND at coffeebrandcoffee.com, get 10% off. And if you're watching this and you're wondering how you can get in on these leagues, you can type !Discord in the Twitch chat. Come join us. Monique, I'm itching to play right now. We're probably going to host some 8s after this, if I'm going to be honest. I'm itching to play, and in Ascending Baseline, we always have 8s going on. People looking for group. You can always make friends. People are constantly in here. It's very active. So we'd love for you to join the community. And yeah, just very thankful for everyone that's here supporting us. And Elusive, do you have any final words before we end the broadcast?
Any final words, putting me on the spot? I'm so glad you talked about how your predictions are always correct. And I'm excited that we have that, and we have hopefully a clip of that. I'm just teasing you. Just a great series overall, and I am super excited for the finals, as we mentioned, and a clean sweep versus what we had here, which was maybe even almost a reverse sweep. So fantastic games tonight. Super excited for next week, and let's play Dissector. I'm itching to play as well.
Yeah, let's play. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.